Blacks versus the Jews. Blacks versus the Jews. You know, when I grew up, I remember the black people would talk about this mysterious man or white man. Growing up as a kid, I'm 41 now, but growing up as a kid in a black home and having a lot of black friends and moving a lot to black neighborhoods, there was a discussion amongst the adults, I remember quite continuously. This is the 80s. And those discussions were about some entity that was suppressing everyone. I kind of understood it, but not really. I knew that they were talking about somebody. And then then the 90s came, and, with NWA and Public Enemy, Grandmaster Flash, like these sort of messages was in the music. And there was a movement that was formed. It was even called the movement by black people. The movement was what? The movement was supposed to be us standing up against the people who control the system. We just didn't have a clear enemy. There wasn't a clear opponent on who that was. It was the man, the white man. There's a vagueness to that. For the first time I've ever seen the black race bring the shit up in a more specific way, other than Kanye did. And the more specifically now, you're going after the CEOs of these companies who control this net, which then makes it a system because we are a part of it. Simple. So they actually have dominance over you because, well, look at yourself as a people. Once again, growing up, I felt like I understood the movement, but I was just a little kid. But it did influence me. I did have a inner hatred towards privileged white in general because of it, and because it was also what I lived through. And then, of course, the cultural of the movies and all those little subtle fucking messages that they put in the fucking movies and shit. And who had the lead role, and always a white person. So yes, that does have an effect, and those were real things that happen. I have a lot of white friends, and they don't even realize that was there. The more woke white individuals, younger, look back and go, wow, like how unevolved we were, the humans, to do that to one another, even in a psychological way through TV and all this sort of stuff here. So there was a clear movement defined back then, and I remember as the 90s and then 2000, so late 90s, 2000s, that's when money started taking over the industry, and the Illuminati started to really find a way to fine-tune their machine of taking all the black artists and owning them, basically owning them. Okay, once again, all this is real subtle stuff. The money, I remember, I felt like it diluted the movement. It was no longer about a movement. It was like fun, party, flash, bling. It was bling, bling. That's exactly what it was. It was about money. Whose money? Not your money. The illusion that it's yours. You're still owned, you see? So it's the money game. You're in the money system. Buck the system. Fuck the system. You see? And so that gets lost now. When I'm getting older, 90s, 2000, 2010. Okay, so now we get to the more vulgar of rap. Southern beat, Southern style has reigned its influence throughout. And we already know the inner workings of the industry for those who are not an idiot. And we know that there is people who control it at the very top, right? And we know that there's these rituals and all this crazy shit. And now it's more specific on who that master actually is. So now we're getting triggered. We're getting triggered because this is very subtle. Master versus the slave, once again, and it's come full fucking circle. Except this time it's not a general whiteness that we are attacking. The white man. What do you mean? The man. Who's that? Cops. Which ones? Now we actually have a more specific title. And yes, saying Jew is very general. But all you have to do is look at the names. And when you have a name, you have an address. You have a name of a company. And when you understand those coordinates, it doesn't take very long with the right movement to unify. Back into the movement that was originally what the blacks were all about. That's been lost, and for some reason this black versus Jew thing has triggered that movement to begin. What's my advice? My advice is that we unify. Those who are in the know, just fucking come on out with it. And it's time to actually buck the system, because if you can come together, and you can do it through smarts and ingenuity. We don't got to go into conspiracy theories. Just like Charleston White said, you make your own shit. It's that simple. Have enough money, all you do is stop. You literally buck the system. And if everyone does that to a certain critical mass, guess what everyone else is going to do? Everyone else starts to stand up as well. They end up losing control of the very sheep we have become. They can't contain all of us. All their programs, all their secret fucking programs that go on, and all these conspiracies of trying to kill us off, and abortion clinics, and you name it, all these programs. We reject them. And we've been rejecting them. They cannot kill off enough of us. And that's their fucking problem now. That's the problem. And they're so arrogant to believe they can contain all of us. And they cannot. They're having issues with containing us. That's what's going on. And you're starting to see little breaks here and breaks there. Cracks in the dam, so to speak. That's what's happening. They can't contain it any longer. So where are you going to be? You're going to bow down to Master and get plugged back into the Matrix. Ignorance is bliss. Eat your piece of steak. Enjoy how it tastes. Maybe a movie star or something, or some sort of singer or rock star. Okay? And shut the fuck up. Or you man the fuck up and just fucking say the truth, and let's get this fucking party started.